Off-Road Podcast, episode 267, Alvord Desert, or Alvord Desert. Wow.
Wow,
I can't speak tonight.
Tonight, Aaron is a winner. Jeremy is bent, and Ben and his family staring at
Welcome to the Off-Road Podcast, the podcast about everything off-road. We cover the news, review products, and interview people in the off-road industry. I'm your host, Ben, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Aaron and Jeremy. And shortly, we will be joined by Coy from Boost Booze and Barbecue to discuss his recent trip to the Alvord Desert. What's up, Jeremy?
Well, I got the seals out of my axle since I had the axle that was leaking.
Or. You had some seals in your axles?
Yeah, I don't know how they got in there. It's still a mystery.
You go to the beach. You go to the beach recently?
I heard seal oil worked pretty good as differential, so I just threw some seal chunks in there and thought, oh, the gears will grind it up. It'll be fine. No, so I pulled the seals out and found out that my housing is bent.
Oh, no. That's terrible.
That is. It's pretty bad. I'm pretty disappointed that is bent. I have no idea when it happened. Who knows? It could have been bent before I got it, and maybe they bent it back. And once you bend something like that, it's just going to bend back easier the next time. So it's possible it was bent at some point and straightened out, and just over time rebent itself.
That's just terrible, man. That sucks.
Yep, it does. So I'm looking into more options. I'm leaning towards going 60s now, and I was going to do it eventually, but I think this kind of moved the timetable up. It's like from what I was looking at, you could kind of buy a new housing and get somebody to install your your gears into your new axle. Cause I'm not touching setting up gears. That's too finicky. With my luck, something else would break and it'd cost even more money. So you'd be looking at like $4,000 to $5,000, depending on if you could reuse all your parts from your old axle. And so it's like, well, at that you can get some Pro Rock Dana 60s for like $12,000. So it's like,
So are you doing front and rear?
Yeah.
Usually like, all right, screw it, I'm going full bore.
I mean, it's kind of, well, because I wouldn't want to do, if I'm going to do 60s, I'm not going to put in, or if I was just going to replace the front 60, I don't want to put in a 410 gear and then have to re-gear at a later date. And I don't want to have to re-gear my rear axle. So it's like, you're just better off just doing it all at once. Because it did have that.
Yep, mine as well.
The Dana 60 front is like $2,000 more expensive than a new Dana 44. And so it was like, well, I could just throw a Dana 60 up front, but then it's like, it's hard to find anybody who makes a Dana 60 in a 410, because why are you running 410s on a 60? That doesn't make any sense. And then, I just have the problem of re-gearing down the road.
Yep.
Yeah. It's an expensive, what about you, but Aaron? The right choice.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how long is it going to take for me to be able to go wheeling again, because it's probably going to be a little ways out.
Yep.
So does that mean we won't be seeing you in Nevada?
You won't be seeing me in Nevada. It was a hard choice to make, but
that sucks, man. That's rough, but I know why you can't. And that's
I thought about either riding with one of you guys or taking my dirt bike, but then it's like, well, if I'm going to have to spend that much on axles here coming up soon, I don't want to really spend any extra money.
Yeah. Justifying that cost, I can imagine that being an argument like, oh, now you're spending $12,000 and you're leaving me for a few days. So yeah, that could be pretty brutal.
What?
Brutal? Wow. Me no speak English today.
Yeah. So insert your Jeep brake comment here.
Oh no, you saw I was throwing them out there. We had I shared a Nissan meme on YouTube, And Chad,
The one that shows the
Hey,
little
Koi?
phone.
Just
Run
mute
that
him.
up about half.
All right, I muted Koi. Koi
There
just
we go.
joined us, and he didn't
so
realize he was already live.
Yeah.
our buddy Chad at CK Knives, he was like, "Oh, I feel so picked on." I'm like, here at the Off Road Podcast discriminate against everyone equally. Ben
Whoa.
drives
We don't discriminate against anybody.
vehicles,
Shut
I
up.
should say.
We rag on everybody.
There we
There
go.
you go.
We rag
I
on
think-
everyone equally.
I think the word that Ben
I
actually used
worded
was
it
we hate.
differently.
I think you said that we hate on everyone equally.
Yeah.
There we go. And so it was like here at the Off Road Podcast, we hate on everyone equally. Aaron drives a Nissan, Ben drives a Yoda, and Jeremy's Jeep is broke again.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, it was perfect timing.
Is it broke again, or did I just never fix what was broke in the first place?
I don't know if you declare it fixed and then it's not fixed. I don't know.
I don't know that I ever declared it fixed. I think I declared it was put back together.
That's true.
So
Yep.
oh well. Well, Aaron, what about you, man? What's new?
Well, I went camping this last weekend. I got to go to the 6th annual CVT family camp out in Central Oregon. It was near Paulina Lake, if anybody knows where that's at. And it was a really good time, really laid back time. I got to meet some new people, see some old faces. On the second day we were there, I took the family and we went on a 3/4 mile short little hike to an obsidian flow that's nearby. And they got all the little plaques around that you can read about obsidian and about the Native Americans and how they would travel and collect obsidian to use for tools and things like that. So it was a fun little trip, little side hike. And then later that night, Bobby did a giveaway and everyone won something, or I should say every family won something. It was pretty cool that so many people won stuff. I even walked away with some stuff. I won a UFO Light. So that's one of those things that we are giving away. You'll hear about that in the giveaway coming up soon. But I won one of those UFO lights, so I'm excited to try that out. I hope I have room in our Nevada trip to bring that along. We'll get to goof around with one of those. And then
I've got space. We can pack it in my Forerunner.
Okay. And then I also won a tent, Jeremy. Jeremy, I won a tent,
What tent did you win?
a shower tent.
Oh, a shower.
I had you hyped up earlier
man.
about me winning a tent, but yeah, I was really excited about winning a shower tent because I had actually been messaging with them about purchasing a shower tent and seeing if they were going to be bringing any merchandise to the family camp out, and then the message got lost and I forgot about it. But turns out I won one, so I didn't need one.
Did they intend for everybody to win?
Well, at the very end, Bobby said, "Who hasn't won anything?" And like only 2 people raised their hand, and so he walked over and handed them something. I think they got some rechargeable fan lights that go in your rooftop tent top.
Well, that would be helpful for the Nevada trip.
It would. I bought a Milwaukee 18-volt cordless fan that's coming with me in our tent, so we're gonna have some airflow for sure.
I've bought like three different fans for this trip.
Nice.
Just buy a good one next time, and then you don't need to buy 3.
Oh no, all 3 are really good. That's the thing. I'm just fat and overheat real
You
well.
point them at all different areas of your body to cool you down.
Yep, exactly. I'm like cover
Koi,
myself in ice packs.
Koi, you can unmute yourself if you haven't heard yet.
I just unmuted him.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
perfect. There we go.
My volume good here.
I don't know. You sound like you're talking to us from the bottom of a well right now.
Better?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, different. I think it's a different microphone.
No, that's the same push pop mic that they always use.
No, I'm saying I think a different microphone is picking him up.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
you're right. Yep, that's what it sounds like.
Better?
Nope, it still sounds like it's a computer mic.
Um, hmm. Well, so besides winning those two things, I also we got one of those silicone dog bowls that we won, and
Ooh,
both of
that'll
my
come in
kids
handy.
won T-shirts.
Sorry,
So,
Andy. Is the computer mic on?
yeah, it was a really good time. Had great food there that was provided by CVT. We had barbecue one night, catered barbecue out there in the wilderness. Barbecue catering company showed up. Probably not as good as Andy's barbecue. I don't know if Andy has headphones on or not, but it was good. It wasn't quite alligator like what Andy made the other day.
Yeah, I wish I could have tried that one.
Yeah. I think I actually drove through Coy's hometown on my way home from Bend.
Check, check.
There we go.
There we
Oh,
that sounds like a Coy.
Breaker 19 for radio check.
Yeah.
loud,
How about now?
much better.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So
I'm
that's
glad
what
you
I was
had
up
fun.
to.
How about you, Ben? What did you do?
Well, like we mentioned, I almost murdered my family. So when I did the last time I replaced my inner tie rods, apparently I
I
forgot.
like how he says the last time. Like it's happened multiple times now.
It's because it
I've
has, and he hasn't told us about it.
I've done both sides and one side twice because I bent it again.
All right.
It's the weak link on a Forerunner.
Insert
The whole
Toyota
120
reli-
series.
insert Toyota reliability joke here.
Yeah.
Hey, it
Says
still
the
runs
guy
with a bent
with
tie
the
rod.
middle
It's
finger.
there we go. Says the guy at the bent axle housing. So I
I'm
forgot to
assuming I'm gonna
stake
be
it
the next
down.
co-host after your wife kills you, Jeremy.
She
So I apparently forgot to stake it down, and it loosened up a little bit. And along with my unbalanced tire, it made the steering wheel vibration even worse. So I finally got around to fixing it, and lo and behold, there it was not staked down, loose, tightened it up, and fixed my steering up a lot better. I still need to go balance my tires, but I've been lazy about it because I just haven't had time.
You've got one
That
week to get it done.
yeah, literally.
I know. I might do it on my lunch break tomorrow. Um, Outside of that, I went up to Malt By and hung out with Pete and
Bye, huh?
worked on my skid plates. Malt B, is it
There
Malt
we
B?
go. Maltby.
Be-
Maltby.
There we go. I'm terrible, and he gives me crap for that every time too. And then I learned some CAD because we were using Pete's plasma table, and we had to adjust some stuff, and he doesn't have AutoCAD, and there's a different program on there, and he's having issues with it. And I'm like, here, let me look. I'm good with computers.
You are?
So I played with some CAD and moved some holes on a file. So I don't know. It
So
was
where does that leave you on your skid plates then?
we it should be finished this weekend. I'm going up Saturday, I think, to go get them finished up.
Excellent.
I
Yep.
think your tire balancing is more important than skid plates for this trip.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, probably on my lunch break tomorrow, if not on Thursday.
Is there a
We'll
shop
see.
nearby where you can just drop it off and come back later, walk back?
No, nothing that close, unfortunately.
Because
Yeah, there
I-
isn't anything around there.
I don't think I would trust just your lunch break for getting tires balanced,
Uh,
as Coy just figured out from this evening.
Lesson
So-
of
well, so here's the cool thing: is I go to Best Tire Center, which is a newer tire place, and they are not as busy.
It will be
And I
tomorrow.
get 10 times the customer service. It's actually I still haven't mentioned. So I'm my new job. I work at Northwest Total Truck Accessories. I started there. I'm helping bring more off-road stuff there and kind of bringing those customers more. Um, they use Best Tire Center, and the guys there know them, and so I might be able to just be like, "Hey, I need this done
Yeah,
quickly."
hopefully they'll help you out.
and help. Yep, and they're not as busy as Les Schwab and Discount Tire because they're a smaller shop. So, we've
Well,
got one up by my house that I go to quite frequently. That's where I get my alignments done. I have a lifetime or a 3-year alignment thing that I paid for, and their tech's always been really cool with me. So,
just down the street from where you work is S&S Tire, and if you call them up and tell Ken that Aaron sent you, he'll say Aaron who, but then you tell him who Aaron is, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, that Aaron."
oh yeah,
And
well I went.
Ken is great. He's the guy who supplied the tires for the
I
stink
met
bug.
Ken. I went in there for what did I go in there for? I can't remember what I went in there for. Was it the stink bug tires? No, because you got those.
Yeah, I got those, so I don't know, but anyways, S&S Tire is a good place, and they take really good care of people. Also, if Best Tire doesn't work out.
Nice. So Coy, how's it going, man?
I'm super like angry and tense right now from my experience with discount tires
Yeah,
today.
are
It's coming down slowly.
Did you throw a tire through your front window like the old lady from the commercials back in the 60s or whatever that was?
I should have, but like they're so nice that you feel like you can't be angry at the guy doing the tires, but like I'm not sure who to be angry with, but
Ah,
it's one of those deals where like I made an appointment last Thursday, went in, they let me know that they were running about 2 hours behind. I said, well, I made an appointment, so that shouldn't make any difference, which then of course it does. And then so I said next week, get us on, do on Monday. We're really slow on Mondays, so of course I made another appointment, and they only were an hour and 20 minutes behind. I was like, I have a hard out. I got to leave at 6. They're like, yeah, I'll have you out at 6. Anyways, at 6:25, I left. And it's really nice the way they like pull your truck in the bay, jack it up, take one tire off, and then work on other cars for like an hour.
uh-huh.
So that like
Yeah.
oh, that pisses me.
they think you like they're appeasing you, but I'm not that dumb. I can see what you're doing. So it's kind of yeah.
So what work did you have done if they pulled only one tire off?
Well, they eventually pulled all of them. I just
Oh,
wanted
okay.
rebalance and rotation for this trip, and I've been trying to get that done. And they've been like actively blocking me since they already have their money, and a free rotation cost them. Basically, what I've come to
I see.
conclude. So I would do it myself, but I don't have a balancing machine. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I'm at today.
Well, that's very unfortunate.
Well,
It's over now.
Did you
right?
get some alligator?
I did. I don't know if you listened to the last episode of Boost Booze and Barbecue, but yeah, we cooked a whole alligator, and it's pretty cool.
So
Kind
Nice.
of like a chicken and pork mixture, taste wise, weird texture. But
Porkin?
what was
Chicken
that?
and pork. I
Yeah,
said
it tastes,
porkin. That's like a chicken and pork mixture.
it tastes like some
Porky.
kind of combination somewhere between chicken and pork. If I had to,
Okay.
I'd tell you what
sounds
alligator
tasty.
tastes like. But yeah, I haven't been up to a whole lot. I went to Christmas Valley last weekend and did the whole Christmas Valley stuff, except for the dinner tree part. I always wait till the last second because I think more people are going to come and we'll all go together and make reservations, and then they're full. So
Uh-huh.
I've only done that 4 years in a row. So hopefully next
Have
year.
you eaten? Have you ever eaten there?
No, I've
Okay.
literally waited to try and see if other people were coming with me for 4 years in a row that I go over
Oh.
there every year. And so far I've missed out every time. So next year, the second I set up the event, I'm going to go ahead and just make my reservations. And if other people go, they can miss out. I'm going to eat
Well,
my,
let's talk about that. Let's talk about reservations after the episode's done.
okay.
Yep.
I'm not sure if we've talked to you about that one or not before. So, well, so what was at Christmas Valley? You guys did a what do they call it? Circle your wagons.
Oh, we call it the Circle the Wagon event, and we just invite people. It's an open thing. We just go every year and run around on the dunes and camp and cook food. We went to crack in the ground, just mostly play around on the dunes.
Gotcha. That
Did you
doesn't sound like a
camp
very
out at
fun
the dunes?
time for me.
I'm sorry, what was that, Jeremy?
Do you guys camp out at the dunes or?
Yeah, I always camp on the sand. I'm not sure
That
why.
doesn't sound like a. It doesn't sound like a very fun time for me. I
Oh,
don't
really?
have.
Well, I mean,
I don't
Yeah,
have
it's
fond
almost
memories
like
of the
airbags.
dunes.
my
They're-
airbags didn't deploy. I'm sure my time would be worse if that had happened. But
Also, Aaron, you got stuck like 3 times while we were out there.
I did. Well, no, like
One time
once on purpose.
and
Once on purpose, and then
Three.
twice, 2 other times.
I thought it was 3 other times. Anyway,
Yeah.
Actually,
Nope. nobody else got stuck. So
I got stuck for the first time this year there because they usually don't get stuck. But I high sent. There's kind of, how there's in between some dunes, like a dry lake bed, arid stuff. There was a big hump, and I was trying to drive over it, and I just turtled. So
Yeah.
get a little
Yeah.
stuck over that.
That's how both of mine
Nice.
were. Both of mine were high center because I chose a poor line.
yep.
And one of the times when I was winching for it, I had my e-brake on. Eric, that one was for you.
Didn't twice.
Maybe twice.
I feel like you did that twice.
You were just tension. You had your e-brake on because you're retensioning your winch line. That's standard practice. I would.
Yeah, you
No
don't
big.
want slop in your winch line.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, you invited me to come on that trip, and I had already booked our CVT. Otherwise, I would have loved to join you on that trip. So maybe next year,
Well, I'll make sure to invite you next year. We do it every year. So
unless it conflicts with CVT, then I'm going to go to that because I won a lot of stuff this year, and I'm going to go back next year and win some more.
yeah, I'm starting to think I should go to the CVT one. I have one of the CVT tents, ground tents. So I feel like I'm part of the family.
Yeah, Ben has a cup. He's part of the family.
A cup.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a CVT cup. I won at the Northwest Overland Rally.
I didn't realize CVT made sporting equipment.
It's
He's referring
a
to this.
silicone cup. I think Jeremy has one too. Yep,
He's
it's that
holding it
cup,
up.
same color and everything. I love
Oh.
that cup. That is one of my favorite cups.
I love it.
Nice cups. I have a bunch from my insurance agent, but they go
Are
in
they
the damn trailer.
like silicone cups?
They're silicone and mine are glow in the dark. And then, of course, they say
Oh,
like
wow.
Jim Thornton Insurance or something on them. But yeah, they're the best cups.
It's a sacrifice worth making.
I've never experienced a silicone cup, so I
Well,
Yeah.
you have a dog bowl. Try it out.
you guys try it out. Oh boy.
Hey guys, we're looking to reach more listeners. We're going to start reading Apple iTunes reviews on air. If you hear yours, send us a message with your address, and we'll send you an Off-Road Podcast sticker. You can find all of our social media by just searching our name. Now, go hit that subscribe button.
So we had a listener reach out to Skinny Medic after listening to our episode. I'm trying to find it right here. And he reached out to him on Instagram. And we want you to write in. So it is Arwood Rough 17. So reach out to us, man. He said he listened to him on the episode podcast and loves the gear, and he went out and bought an IFAC, or he's looking for an IFAC for his Jeep. So reach out to us, man. We'll hook you up with a sticker.
Yeah. That was really cool hearing from Skinny Medic that someone bought some from him from listening to our episode.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that we love. Is hey, you bought from someone because you heard him on the show and you wanted to support him. It means that much more to us.
Mm-hmm. Well, we also want to thank Patriot Patch for sponsoring our show. They've always got their awesome patch of the month. This month is the my rifle identifies as a fishing rod. It's an AR-15 fishing rod hybrid. Jeremy's going to pull his down for the video right now. There we go.
Now I'm going to talk really quick so it shows up on the YouTube properly.
Yeah, it's a cool patch. A little spinner on the bottom of that. I wonder if someone has actually done that. Have you guys ever seen anybody turn a rifle into a fishing rod? I feel like somebody's probably done it.
I kind of want to now.
That would be
Yeah.
really cool, like a cannon.
When you like launch your
have like a
lure
real
out.
nice bobber.
I
and just
literally was
launch it
thinking
out there.
in my head right before you said that. Just boom. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I think if you're at the local fishing hole and all of a sudden just firing that off, you might get calls.
Maybe.
I'm cool with it. How's
So
it going, fishing
there's, like-
game? I'm rifle fishing.
There's like people who go surf fishing and they bring like these giant slingshots and they slingshot their lure and bait like way deep out there. I've also seen people use drones
Bow
to
fishing.
fly their lures and drop them. So
Well,
Yeah.
why not shoot it out
and
with
there's
a gun?
bow fishing too.
I still have a feeling that if you were on a beach trying to fish with your
And
cannon,
you pull out a rifle.
people might call the police.
Do they make suppressed cannons?
Just make sure you do it like 4th of July on the beach, and then
There you
it-
go.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be then.
Nobody will ever notice.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Nope. Anyways, it's a cool patch. They always have great patches. So make sure to check them out. Patriotpatch.co.
Hey guys, we got a giveaway going on.
Ooh.
Did you know that, Coy?
I'm aware. Yeah,
Well, do you know what we're giving away?
Ben told me he was going to make sure I won the UFO light. I mean,
Oh,
would-
Ben.
Make,
Good luck
I
with
mean,
that.
Coy, you weren't supposed to say that online. Yeah, we'll edit that out.
yeah.
The wrong guy.
No. He is Coy cannot win. Sorry, Coy. You've been on the show too many times.
Yeah, that'd be dirty.
Has Coy even entered?
I actually haven't entered for the UFO light because I'm
Well,
always listening to it. Either I'm on it or listening later and never live. So, and I don't like to like order patches or enter the competition while I'm doing the podcast.
that's what we like to do.
No, I know, but it's a personal thing for me.
You like to try to have attention to what's happening rather than focused on something else
A
on your
little,
podcast.
just a little. But maybe I can be convinced to enter this time and then not win.
Where's the fun in that?
Well, yeah, so we've got a UFO light we're giving away. I got to handle one this weekend at the CBT camp out, and I gotta say I'm really impressed with the quality on it. It's pretty sweet. Not that I thought that the quality wouldn't be nice, but it was pretty neat. It's something I didn't know that I don't think we've talked about is IP65 or IP67 waterproof rating on it. So if you are out listening to tunes all night long around the campfire and go to bed hungover, and then it rains in the morning and you forget it out there, it'll be okay.
So you're saying that if we take it snow camping and we've got light around the camp and then Jeremy and Ben and everybody are just too drunk, we don't have to worry about it like getting wet?
Speak for yourself. And Kravik.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was fine.
I did a good time holding my liquor last time, except for that one point.
I just had a really bad thought. I don't know. We'll see if I'll be able to come on a snow run this year.
Yeah. I hope you get axles by then.
I don't know. We'll
What
find-
a better
you're
time to
really
break them in
grounded.
than in the snow.
Yeah, you just you drive it for 15 minutes, you just bury it in snow and let it cool off, right?
Exactly.
Break in the axles.
The axle break-in procedure should be snow wheeling.
No.
Well,
Do you really believe that you have to break the axles in or break the gears in?
I don't know whether or not I believe it or not. But if a manufacturer tells me recommends it, then yes, I will.
Because I've only bought like 2 new vehicles and I left and did insane speeds just to see what they'd do. And I never broke an axle. Like it seemed like they've done fine. I never had to do 45 for the first month. Like
It's funny because I was thinking about that the other day. Actually, yesterday I was thinking about why don't new companies tell you to break in the gears like buying gears from a gear company?
because I'm assuming it's just BS.
Yeah.
It's probably just a liability thing. Who knows? Someone who's smarter than us.
It's probably so when your gears break, they can say, "Well, did you do the break-in procedure?"
So they can deny your
Correct.
warranty.
So the axles that I'm looking at actually goes a step further and says, "Do not use synthetic oil for the first 500 miles. After that,
Wow.
you can."
Mhm.
I was like, "Huh, interesting."
Really interesting.
Can you just put it on blocks and just like put it in drive and cruise and break it in that way? Just set the cruise at like 35, go in, hang out, barbecue, come back out in 2 hours, and
Well, I mean, you're supposed to let it go for 15 minutes, let it cool down for half an hour, and so on and so forth for 500 miles or so. Is that what it is?
It can't be for
I thought it
500
was
miles.
under 45 miles an hour for less for an up to an hour at a time.
Maybe different manufacturers recommend different things.
That'd be a pretty crazy break-in. 15
Yeah.
time.
I've always seen 15 for 30, 15 driving, 30-minute cool down. I don't think it's 500 miles. I think they just they probably tell you to do that for a couple times. And then I know they recommend you change the gear oil at 500 miles.
You should ask if you can do it on blocks, like pull the wheels and tires off, just let your hub spin and just sit in the driveway and do it.
Somehow
Well,
I don't think it'd heat up the same.
Yeah, I don't think it would get a good enough
Yeah.
load.
Mm.
So don't forget to sign up for the giveaway, right?
Oh yeah, back to the giveaway. Head over to the Facebook page. It's pinned there right at the top. And yeah,
Listen later in the show for the special word.
yeah.
That you can only hear on the live show or on the YouTube.
Yep. You must go to the YouTube or the live show on the radio. You can listen to the replay of the YouTube though. That's available at any time.
Correct.
The news is brought to you by Power Tank, the ultimate mobile onboard air system for performance, versatility, and reliability. They are your source for all air-related accessories. Check them out at powertank.com.
Well, for the news this week, our first story is another Bronco story. 2021 Bronco at Moab. And weren't they at the Rubicon too?
Yeah, they're taking it everywhere. They're looks like they're beating these things up. I couldn't tell with the video if it was the same one that went on the Rubicon, but it definitely had some scratches on it. That's for sure. But yeah, they took it out to Moab, and somebody got some good video of it going up and down the escalator on Hell's Revenge,
And back up it in reverse.
and back up it in reverse. Yeah, you're right.
What does that prove? I'm just curious on what does going up it in reverse really do? I mean, don't you have better gearing in reverse for that? Like
I think it
power-wise?
proves that you bring your balls there in the dump truck.
Sounds good to me.
Mm.
That what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I would like to know. Because the camera never shows the angle right. I wanted to know how steep it actually is for going up something like this.
There are parts of it that are pretty steep. I've never actually been to Moab. It's one of the places I need to get to.
Once you get some axles.
Yeah, once I get some axles.
Because I own an FJ Cruiser,
That's a
I've
good way to break it.
seen videos of stock FJ Cruisers driving up this.
Well, there was that commercial of the stock. Was it the Trailhawk that they took up it? Stock?
Yeah,
Well,
I
and
know.
it was Sprinto.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was a Kia, because then Jeep made the commercial making fun of the hamsters that I think we talked about on one of the other episodes we did.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm honestly starting to think that Jeep and Ford have some bad blood between them. Like, it seems like Ford's just middle fingering Jeep right now by going to the Rubicon.
Yeah, but there's a pretty good meme that came out of that.
I didn't see that.
But here's the thing though, the Rubicon wasn't named after the Jeep. Jeep applied the Rubicon as a package to their thing. So
Yeah,
I know, but by running to the Rubicon and doing a bunch of, it just seems like some of the things they've done, they're really aiming hard at Jeep.
absolutely.
Well, I mean, that's
why
the
would
market.
why wouldn't you?
But I mean, it's not just marketing.
On
It
the
seems
whole,
like it's
right?
personal at
If
this
they-
point.
well, I think it's partly to do kind of little dog syndrome. I think they're trying to break into a market that is dominated by the Jeep, and they're just going after it hard.
See, I had a theory that because the Jeep pickup came out and Ford F-150 has been one of the best selling, if not the best selling truck forever, that Ford was losing a little market share to the Jeep Gladiator, and now they're kind of back at you.
I don't know. That's pretty quick to develop it if they're just responding to the Gladiator.
They both know that each other were coming out with this for the last 5 years. I mean,
True.
What's going on with the top of the windshield there? There's like 2 chunks missing.
It's a good question.
I'm guessing a roof rack mount goes there, and there should be a little plastic piece that pops in there, something like that,
Yeah, maybe it would be a roof rack mount.
or a light bar.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You could definitely see that thing's taken a bit of a beating.
Yeah, it's missing something there behind the slider.
Oh yeah,
That's probably the same one in Rubicon because there's a video where you can see it just coming down and hearing sheet metal crunch.
yeah. I would venture to guess that they took it to the Rubicon and then they drove to Moab and took it down Moab.
So from what I've uncovered, there's 3 black Broncos, and one's a soft top, one's a 4-door, one's a 2-door. I think there's 2 4-doors. But they've been like, if you are on a bunch of Facebook pages, like they showed up in Canada. Some dude was just wheeling in Canada on a glacier, and all of a sudden 3 Broncos rolled up, and it looks like it's been these same 3 Broncos just making their way through Canada, America, doing this stuff.
That makes sense.
Those are test mules.
Yeah.
I know that I saw a lot of people giving them a hard time for having, body damage coming off the Rubicon, but I would kind of expect that on a stock vehicle.
Also, if you look at this video right here and look at that spare tire, I saw that tire in one of the pictures. Like, I like the look of that tire. It's not available in America, so I'm not sure what's up with that. It's a Canadian only Goodyear.
Interesting.
Those Canadians.
Those Canucks.
I also wonder, if it's receiving so much damage, is it someone in the press driving it? Is it someone who's got good experience driving the Rubicon? Is it a noob? Who's driving it?
I would say it's an engineer because they're notoriously bad at wheeling. They bend
Yeah.
axles, the dog kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they bend axles, definitely.
Hey, I didn't engineer that axle.
Yeah.
I heard
they're going up in reverse now.
Oh, there you go. I heard it's a pretty massive team with them because they supposedly had to have a helicopter drop supplies to them on the Rubicon.
Wow.
Like parts?
Possibly, I just, that was in one of the articles. They had a reason helicopter. Their budget's on. They might have dropped off burgers or something.
Well, I mean, if you watch Ultimate Adventure, they got coffee on the trail via
Pause it.
Oh, pause it.
If you go back about 10 seconds, you can see the 2-door that he's talking about. Keep going back. Oh, I guess that might be too far.
Nope, you can see it. I see it on the screen.
But there's the 2-door, but above the 2-door was the 4-door soft top also, and they're both black test mules.
There's also, I believe it's a white JL Rubicon with them, which is supposedly for benchmarking or possibly to really pull them out when they're in a bad situation,
Yeah. So there you can see the soft top and the 2-door. And I can't tell if that's a JL
side by side
between the side by side and the soft top or not, but
yeah, it could be a JK. It's hard to tell at this angle.
Who knows? Anyway, I think we've beaten this one to death.
Yeah.
No rollover.
Nope. So, Coy, are you sure that this isn't the tire that's going to come out with the Bronco?
It very well could, but when I found out what tire it was and Googled it because I thought it's a pretty good mixture of like somewhere in between all terrain and mud terrain. I'm like, man, it looks like a really good snow wheeling tire. And so I looked it up and it's available, but Canada only right now. So it could come out with the Bronco, but right now you can't buy it unless you're in Canada.
Well, I mean, we're not that far.
Yeah, let's go over the border. Oh, it's closed.
Oh, they also have those good gas cans up there too. The Scepter ones that you can't get down here because of California.
Yeah, I hate those things. Anyway, let's move on to the next article.
SEMA gets canceled.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
SEMA's officially been.
This could be a good thing and a bad thing. Like COVID stuff, it sucks, right? But maybe we'll actually see some completed SEMA builds that are held together with zip ties and crappy paint jobs.
Maybe drive lines.
Yeah, with drive lines. Like
maybe they'll find someone who finish welding their stuff.
You have a whole extra year to complete your SEMA build. Can you
Ooh.
do it?
I think everybody's just going to wait for a new Bronco, and they'll still do it last second, and we'll just
Oh my
be
goodness.
Broncos at SEMA.
Yeah.
Let's do a SEMA build with my Jeep.
I'm not made of money, sorry.
Oh man.
I can't be your sponsor.
So I don't know if I even want to say this on the show.
Say it.
Uh, so there's a bunch of different events going all virtual, and I don't know what it's called, but whatever the porn one is going all virtual, and I thought, isn't that what porn pretty much is?
Yeah. Odd.
Yeah, it's been interesting because I want to say the Overland, was it the Western Overland Rally was virtual. I've seen a ton.
Overland Expo West. Yeah.
Yeah, Overland West. I've seen a number of events that are virtual, and that's kind of cool for the guys that can't make it to them, like me who wants to go, but I don't know. I just not my cup of tea. I tried virtual church and all that, and it's not the same thing as being there in person, right?
Also, Rick says that Hell's Revenge is not that tough.
Say that one more time.
Rick said that Hell's Revenge is not that tough.
So yeah, it sounds like it's time for us just to go to Moab. Except broken axle guy here.
I say, this time next year, we plan a trip to Moab.
Boy, wouldn't this just cook Jeremy's goose if we just changed our Nevada trip to Moab this year instead?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Hey guys,
Let's not say anything though. Just send them like a selfie of all of us out there on that. What's that one where you drive out on the end, and your truck's like on the overhang, top of the world trail.
Yeah, there we
All
go.
the trucks out there taking the picture.
Well, what I'm really bummed about, actually, a little bit more than missing the Nevada trip, is I was supposed to go to Rubicon in October.
Ouch.
Yep. I don't think that's happening now.
Probably not.
Well, you could go, just not with your rig. You get a rental Jeep.
He needs that money to fund the axles.
Right. Again, spending more money than I yeah.
Yep.
If you hadn't bought those silencers, you'd have the money to fix your Jeep right now.
I don't know about that.
No.
Well, what's even worse is those silencers. He had a boating accident.
Actually, it was a Jeeping accident. I tried to use them to fix my axle, and yeah, they're destroyed now.
Oh, there we go.
Go prepared with Warren Industries. They produced the first recreational winch in 1959 and lead the industry with their dedication to quality and reliability. When you dig yourself in deep, make sure you have the right tools to get yourself out. Get Warren equipped and go where others can't. Now, let's get ready for adventure and head into our main topic.
Well, this week we are talking to Coy here. We were supposed to, was it the Bronco episode was the plan for this? We were going to talk about your Alvord desert trip, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
And
usurped.
the Bronco came out. And, yep, you got usurped, but it's all good. So, what is the Alvord desert there, Coy?
The Alvord Desert is a dry lake bed. And it's just exactly how you imagine a dry lake bed, just that cracked, hexagonal, weird cracks in the ground. It occasionally gets enough rain that it kind of goes back to mud. But, if you ever seen like Black Rock where they have Burning Man and stuff, same looking thing. It's not quite as big as that playa, but yeah, it's exactly what you think it is. It's Alvord is actually where Jesse Combs broke the record and then crashed there and died. It's that, it's a massive expanse. I believe it's about 20 miles long and 13 wide, something along those lines.
When did you go there?
I went there Memorial Day weekend of 2 months ago.
And is that the best time?
No, that's actually probably one of the worst times. yes and no. There's a ton of people there, but there's like on Memorial Day weekend, since there's a ton of people there, you get to see some crazy stuff. There's like just airplanes landing there.
Wow.
And I mean, everything from like those parachute trike planes to just full size, like 6-passenger planes with retractable gear just land on and take off.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, there's these guys and they're like one step up from an ultralight. It's like a little plane. They trailer them in there and, they take like 20 feet to take off. And those guys fly those things like RC planes. They just fly up and then you see them fly over, land near another group, pop back up, just up and down all over out there.
Is there a time of the year where the playa is kind of impassable?
It just depends on weather. So there's hardly any rain over there, but there was some rain actually just a couple days before I got there. So there was a small spot where people were getting stuck, but I mean, it can become impassable in the summer if they get a decent rain, but it's just totally weather dependent.
I was there long time ago, probably 25 years ago as a child. And when I was there were people out there with these 3-wheeled land yacht things. I think what they call them.
Sail trike things.
Yeah, sail trike. And they were racing. They were out there doing a race. That was kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it gets incredibly windy there at times.
Mhm.
I didn't actually see any of those, but I've heard that that's super popular there. But I didn't see a single one. I guess there's a lot of accidents out there because a lot of people camp around the edge, but then people will just camp somewhere in the middle or just randomly anywhere. And at night you'll see people doing like 90 miles an hour across there. And
oh my goodness,
yes, there are wrecks.
So
Yeah, obviously with the death of Jesse Combs there are definitely wrecks out there.
Wow, that's special circumstances, I think.
Well, that is
Yeah.
definitely special circumstances, but I mean, that's one of what. There's probably a lot out there from time to time, depending on if you hit some wetness suddenly.
Yep, for sure.
I've never wanted to camp out there. I mean, you drive out there, you get some cool pictures, you drive as fast as you can out there, it's fun. Maybe you recover some people who got somewhere they shouldn't been, but I've never had the want to ever camp there. One, because it's windy, and two, there's just no shade or anything. It's just windy and dusty and dry. I'd much rather be off the lake bed up in some just because just on the other side of the road is the Steens Mountains. Sorry, I was struggling there for the mountains, and you can just drive up into some of the crevasses. There's creeks flowing down from there. There's just places that you can go and get some wind protection rather than being out on the desert.
Since I have a tent trailer, the wind thing's not quite as big a deal for me. And I was over there 4 nights and I spent one night on the playa. I just kind of basically did it because I was there to say I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, yeah, you got to use the bathroom. You got to get in your car and drive to a bathroom. You can't, there's no trees. Like it's tough. So
You're not digging a hole in the playa to drop the deuce.
well, I feel like that'd be irresponsible. Number one, and number two, I mean, that'd be like a hole on the surface of the moon. Like everyone would see you. There's no place to hide. It's literally, you could see it going down a mile away.
Literally see it going down.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, do you have any tips for driving on the lake bed for anybody who's never driven on dried mud?
I mean, it's like driving on asphalt when it's dry. So just, floor it, do whatever you want. When you're in your truck and you're driving out there and you're doing 60 miles an hour and you're like, oh, I think I'll turn around now. You need to realize that you're not in a razor and you're like, feel like you turn the steering wheel just a couple inches and you're turning in a wide circle, but it feels like you're about to roll your truck. Like, So, don't just turn sharp and have your head on a swivel because people, if it's on a busy weekend, there's people just going any and all directions out there. And like even though it's wide open, everybody's just looking where they're going. And like, as I was driving, I'd look over and be like, well, I need to make a course correction because me and this guy are going to, we're going to get to the point where we hit each other. Like there's just a lot of activity going on the busy weekends. So just watch out for traffic. There's a lot of roads that come into the playa that are fun to explore too. So really an hour or so on the playa, at least for me, you've had your fill. It's flat. It's, in an hour you can drive across it or lengthways pretty easily. But there's a lot of cool little desert roads going in and around it. And then around it, there's a lot of 3 or 4 hot springs, or some of them are actually, I would say, vents. They're like more Yellowstone type thing. You can't get in it unless you're wanting to die. So those are cool to go check out. There's one, I think it's close to boiling, like it's steaming. It's like 190 degrees, something like that. I believe that Mickey Hot Springs or Mickey geothermal vent be on the north end of the playa out there. Drive up, they got a fence around it and a bunch of warning signs and skulls and crossbones, and they're really cool looking. They go super deep, weird algae colors and stuff. Hold on to your children. Or, I mean, unless you don't like them, then whatever. But and then there's another one that's called the Borax Hot Spring, and it's actually a small lake. They call it Borax Lake too, but it's kind of a small lake. It's like a couple acres, and it's also really hot, boiling water in the center of it. And they used to mine borax out of that, and it was like rose borax, something they make soap out of back in the day, and they took it in mule teams down to like California, and they still have some of the old like vats that they would dry the water in and do all that there. But that's actually been bought. You got to hike a little ways into that one, maybe quarter mile, because it's all fenced off. A conservatory bought it because it has this super rare carp that's in there. The water's super hot and it's really high in arsenic. This is the only kind of this carp in the world. They're the Borax Lake carp, and they live in Borax Lake. That's all there are of them. They've somehow evolved in this lake to live in that horrible environment. So conservatory bought it, fenced it all off. You got to hike in. These little borax fish, they taste super salty. So I wouldn't eat any of these protected fish. But anyways, it's really cool.
Do we have
Salted.
a question there?
I just ate out
If-
the other day. So
let's say if you were going to eat one of these fish, which would be irresponsible, it sounds like, would you put anything on it? Would you garnish it? How would you cook one?
well, arsenic already kind of tastes like almonds. So
Oh, perfect.
yeah, no, the hint of almond.
You're covered then.
Yeah, no, they're self-flavored.
So tell us about your trip.
It was a great trip, and I recommend everybody do it once because it's only going to get busier out there. A lot of people complain that it's not like it used to be and yada yada, and they'll never go there again because just everybody that goes ruined it. But it's public land, so go, and it's probably going to only get busier. I actually went to Willow Creek Hot Springs first, spent a couple days there and explored around there. It's another hot springs 20-30 miles to the southeast of Alvord. So there's a lot of cool stuff around that hot springs. I actually found some old homesteads that I drove around. I was looking for one and then found 2 others, and you can drive almost up to them. One of them's unmarked, and the other 2 are actual historical sites. And there's just a lot of cool little creek crossings, and it's a neat high desert terrain to drive in. That you can find some little caves and stuff. And then the road that goes from Willow Creek to Fields is all gravel, and it's about 25 miles of gravel. And I mean, you can just burn down it. Fields has the legendary milkshakes and burgers, which I'm not a big fan of. Their shakes were okay, and they didn't offer a straw, and their burger was horrible. But their shakes were actually decent.
So
And
they're
crazy expensive.
legendarily bad.
For me, like I actually have, like, this whole time I've wanted to go to the Alvord. A big portion of it was to go to Fields and have like this, fresh beef burger with this legendary milkshake, and it was wildly mediocre.
Are you sure you didn't go to the knockoff place by mistake?
There's no
There's
places.
there's
out there
not
to
enough.
knock off.
Yeah, there's no knockoffs there.
So I wonder if everybody, because I've experienced the burger and the shake on multiple occasions. I didn't get the shakes from the burger. I had a milkshake and a burger. But I wonder if it's like people are out just in the dust eating microwave macaroni and cheese that they put boiled water in. It didn't turn out good because you're supposed to microwave it, and eating hot dogs and maybe some granola, but without milk because they forgot the milk or their yogurt spoiled. And they just didn't have a really good like 4 days of camp food leading up to it. And they're like, you know what, let's just go to town and get a burger and a milkshake. And they're like, oh, this is amazing.
Is that what you did? I mean, did
No, that's not what I did.
I was gonna ask you,
No,
speaking
but-
from experience there.
well, I mean, was it
I
burger?
enjoyed both. I enjoyed the burgers I had there, but then again, I don't have a good friend named Andy who makes amazing barbecue.
Well,
That's,
here's the
I
thing,
don't
the
know,
shake
maybe my palate. I've got like a few steps down of palate that I enjoy.
Well, you enjoy bologna sandwiches, so
I love bologna sandwiches.
you would think that I have a high palate, but I am actually a human garbage disposal, and it like physically on a molecular level bothers me when people don't finish their food. I'm just like, hey, you need to eat all that. Like, I don't know why. It's like if you get food on a plate and you don't finish it, I'm like, give that to someone, take it home. Like, you need to finish your food. And like this burger, I was like looking at him like, I don't want to finish this. Like, I want to throw it away, but like I just can't. So I just eat it. But like it was not good.
Wow.
It could possibly be because they were so busy. It's a super busy weekend on more weekend. So I'll give them one more try. But
in 2 weeks, you can give them another
yeah,
try.
I will. But I was wildly disappointed. Their burger shake was great. That you have to eat it with a spoon because they wouldn't give me a straw because they ran out or they're too close to California. I don't know.
Rick said he rescued somebody who was stuck there in June in the mud.
Yes.
In Alvord. Occasionally, I will see people stuck there on like the sites, the off-road sites and stuff. So it does happen. I mean, obviously,
Yep.
It could happen in Nevada, it could happen in Oregon. Yeah.
On the milkshake note here, my buddy had a kombucha. I think it was like an apple cinnamon kombucha milkshake when we were there the last time. If you're into that kind of thing, they have weird shakes too.
I didn't see anything like that there, and I don't hate myself, so not going for the kombucha.
Nope, me either. So no booch for Aaron.
I don't trust people that drink kombucha. Like, I feel like I'm wondering if they're wearing like a skin suit or something.
Yeah. So you camped one night on the lake bed.
I camped one night on the
three-
bed and three
other
nights at Willow. So, and then
Willow,
I kind of
okay.
used Willow as a home base. I set up there. I had a guy park next to me and pop up one of the Opus Air inflatable camp trailers. I got serious trailer envy. Those are nice, really nice.
Isn't it just the same thing that you have, but it inflates rather than cranking it up with a handle?
Well, I have it better in every way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's actually electric up, but his you just hit a switch. You open the both sides, hit a switch, and it airs up. The roof has like a roof rack to put bikes and stuff on top, which actually isn't hooked to the top; it's hooked to the side. And then there's a pivot pin, so you can rotate all that 90 degrees, pop your camper up, and all your stuff stays hooked to the roof rack. When you're done, you can just. It's really slick. It's got independent suspension, and has a special tool to lower his jack stands. And he left. And then somebody came up to me and said, "Is this your tool?" And I was like, "No, that's the guy that just left." So I jumped in my FJ and was chasing him down, and he was a ways ahead of me. So I had to do some Baja stuff. I'm just jumping this gravel road, basically. Had to kind of guess which way he turned. And I can safely say that the suspension on those trailers is way better than a leaf spring because it took me a long time to catch up to him. And I was hauling when I got to him. He was moving pretty good. So if you're in a tent trailer looking for one, those Opus ones are slicker than a whistle.
Is the that hot springs you're talking about staying at, is it a paid site?
Willow is a primitive. They just have a
Willow.
pit toilet and there's kind of designated camp spots in a parking area. There's a certain amount of feet you're supposed to stay away from the actual Willow's hot spring. It has like a hot side and a cold side with kind of a wall built in it. There's no rules. If you go there, there'll be people naked.
That was Jeremy's next question. He wanted to know if he had to wear clothes if he goes.
No. I had kids with me, so I was kind of, oh nope, we'll look this way, But if you're in there with kids, people are pretty respectful. But then I looked out over there, and a lady climbed out and started petting a dog back to me, just bent over, And I was like, wow, she's not shy. And then she got back in the hot springs. So she just got out naked to pet a dog and then got back in. So that's how, how bold people can be.
I think I told this story.
People are interesting.
When we were in Nevada 2 years ago with Dan, and we were at one hot springs. So it was three of us: myself, Dan, and Brian. And Dan and Brian are they don't like to wear clothes in hot springs, and I do. So I didn't get in this particular hot springs with them that day. I just walked around and took pictures of sagebrush or something. And a big group of razor owners and motorcycle riders showed up to this hot springs, and I'm gonna bet you it was 25 guys, and they ignored the signs that said no motorized vehicles on this trail, and they drove their razors and motorcycles all the way to the hot springs, which pissed me off. And it also pissed Dan and Brian off, and they're in there naked, and these guys all show up. And think of it as like a biker gang, but for like razors. And Dan told me later that these guys were like complaining that two naked guys were in there and questioning their sexuality, all of this like under their breath. And so Dan and Brian, besides peeing in it before they got
So just
out,
to be
they
clear, a roving group of razor drivers, a gang of razor drivers were questioning someone else's sexuality. I think we can all see the hypocrisy in that.
Yeah. So they were saying that they've been coming here for like 8 years straight, so it's like their hot springs because they've been coming here for 8 years straight. So it's their hot spring, and these other guys just needed to get it out of it so they could enjoy it. And so besides peeing in it, because they were upset, besides peeing in it before they got out, they once they climbed out, they just kind of stood around. They did some yoga stretches. They sat on a rock just to kind of dry out, legs splayed completely open, just to kind of rub it in just a little longer before they got their clothes on.
Yeah, I have this thing where it's like, if you want a place to stay secret, then don't tell anyone. And even then, you know, it's probably not going to be, especially if it's public land. Like everybody's got a shot at it. And if you're telling someone, then seriously don't complain. Like I've known so many people that post pictures of this awesome, cool site, and people say, "Where is that?" They say where, and then it gets busy, and it's like, well, it's cool. And you told people where it's at. Now people are camping there. Like, could it go any other way?
Yeah.
And then there's another hot spring. It's actually the Alvord hot springs. It's right off of the playa, and that's a paid one that I almost went to. You can see it from the gravel road that kind of bypasses around the Alvord. And as I drove by, a guy was sitting on the edge of, it's kind of a metal tub with a wall to block the wind. And this dude was as big as me, if not bigger. And he was extremely naked and white and just sitting on the edge and was just squishing fat. And I was like, I'm not going to pay $20 for that. Like, internet's free. So
I thought that one was clothing required, but maybe not.
Not anymore.
Maybe
it was not.
Maybe he had a skin-colored swimsuit. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And there's actually, I believe, some little like houses you can rent there at that hot spring, and there is a campground that you can rent spots at.
Yeah, but once again, it's right on the playa, and there's zero tree coverage. And the day that I was there 5 or 6 years ago, like the wind was blowing, and like if you were camping there in a tent, your tent would just be rocking.
Yeah, no, honestly, I would, unless you're just doing it for the one time, just to be like, you camped there once or a group or whatever, maybe once camp on the playa, but there's just so much public land there and so much cool stuff. And it's all pretty, I mean, it's pretty flat out there for the most part. You can do 65 on all the pavement, no problem. So it's like, just find a different spot. Like there's plenty of spots to go camp. So especially if you have like an iPad or something that has, mapping, you can find something cool.
I forgot to mention when you're talking about driving on the playa, and you mentioned it's like asphalt, you can like make your tires howl from turning and driving too fast. Your tires squeal like if you're in a parking garage. It's amazing.
No, there's a guy in a Mustang out there doing cookies, and I mean, it kind of leaves little grooves. Like you drive over it, you can feel it. But I mean, he's pretty much doing cookies. Like it's not that far off asphalt, as not near as much as you'd think.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, no, I recommend everybody does it. It is a long drive from anywhere, but it's remote and it's cool, and there's no reason not to at least do it once.
If you were going back out that direction again, is there anything that you'd want to hit or
Well,
that you've missed?
the Steens Mountain Loop, which is the highest road in Oregon, was too snowbound for me to do that early in the year. So that was kind of one of my things that I wanted to do.
How is it this time of year?
It should be complete. I read on the internet that it's good to go. They actually go up.
It is. I
point.
saw some people post some pictures from there last week, actually.
So I'm hoping here in a couple of weeks I'll get to do it. So it all works out right.
Anything else besides the Steens Mountain Loop that you'd want to hit that you didn't get to hit?
You know, I kind of covered everything that I was really looking for there, and you could spend a lot of time there. I'd like to, if I was going back, I'd like to spend some more time in the Steens. This is like kind of a trip that I want to do at some point, probably, but without children. If you go to I believe the other side of the Steens, be the west side of the Steens, I guess. There was it was like a B-25 Liberty that just flew into the side of the mountains years ago. You can look it up online. I've kind of found the location of it, and it's like a 7-mile hike, but I'd like to hike to that wreck site at some point.
7 miles?
It's a chunk, yeah.
Whew, that's a chunk for a chunk. That's too much for me.
There's a surprising amount of cool airplane wrecks with some really crazy history in Oregon, and at some point I want to hit some of them.
Just thinking about, because what Christmas Valley has two.
Christmas Valley has a P-38. There's a Avenger,
A6.
Yeah, A6 Avenger, and I think there's actually like a passenger plane out there somewhere, but you got to really hike to get to that one. And then the other one that I want to hit is kind of between K Falls and Alvord in like 1946 or 56 or something. The governor of Oregon, anyways, the top 3 heads of Oregon got in this little plane, were flying to go goose hunting, hit a snowstorm, pile drove it into a mountain, and that is why we have the separate travel rules, because the state of Oregon just lost all its leadership, and so now when the governor goes somewhere, was it Secretary of State that's second in command or whatever, they have to travel.
I wish we could coordinate something like that again.
Yeah, you can't get lucky twice. And it's even cooler because I have a friend who has an airplane, and he has the exact same model of airplane. So I've actually flown in the same model of plane. It was a few years newer, but Bonanza VTOL, and I'd like to go check out that wreck site at some point, which isn't really in that area, but it's down there. I like airplane wrecks, so.
Enough to
You like exploring airplane wrecks?
No, I like airplane wrecks.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Appreciate you coming on and talking about it.
Well, I appreciate you guys letting me come on.
Finally getting you here, for this specific topic.
Yeah.
Only had to get you on the show twice to talk about the topic you wanted to talk about.
It's technically the third time, but
Yeah, this is the third time.
Yeah, but we weren't trying to talk about this topic that time. The first time.
Well, no, I think that we were going to talk about his rig first, and if we had time, talk about the Alvord, but we just ran out of time because.
Oh, you might be right.
We long talkers.
Yeah, I can just run off topic.
It's almost like you have a podcast, where you talk about stuff too.
Almost like I'm into broadcasting.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to our trip that will go through fields on our way back for our last day. I think it's going to be a really good time, and I also am looking forward to the Steens Mountain Loop, because that's from what I understand, it's only open like 2 months out of the year or something crazy like that.
It's a pretty small window.
Are you divulging information of our trip?
Yeah. Yep.
Terrible.
Yeah, and as soon as we get done with that, I guess we're heading straight to the con to do some stuff there. But
Yep.
Which con?
Hit
Con.
Ruba.
the Steens.
Oh,
and hit the
that
Rubicon.
con.
Yeah.
That con.
Maybe take a left turn and go to Moab.
I didn't know if you were talking about one of those expos that Jeremy was talking about in Las Vegas.
Oh no, I see.
I feel like that would be a right turn,
Yeah,
especially
it's
if
not-
you're on your way back.
Yeah, either way.
Go to Moab.
Yeah, what's a little extra time off work?
Yeah. Calling sick for
Well,
2
the way you
weeks.
guys are wives are dropping out and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah,
So
Everybody who's going, all of their wives are coming, with the exception of Ben's.
And
yeah,
No, Eric's wife is coming.
oh, she's coming now.
Yeah.
but Dan's not coming anymore.
Yeah,
'Cause
unfortunately,
first
Dan's
his
out.
wife dropped out, and then
Yeah, and then he dropped into the ER
Yeah.
room.
oh,
Hey guys, we got a code to give away really quick.
well, what's the code this week?
This week's code is Dana 60.
Is
'Cause that's
there
what
a space or is there a space or an underscore in Dana 60?
No, just a space.
Okay.
So DANA space 60.
And I'm sorry if you're trying to do it right now. It's going to be up in about half an hour if you're watching live.
Man, that's just terrible. It's almost like the code is what you want and need.
That is true. Although I need 2 of them.
I think that you should, instead of calling it a code,
Oh.
call it a safe word.
Safe word.
Yeah,
I think we'll pass.
I think Jeremy's gonna need a safe word when he tells his wife how much they actually are.
No, I've told her exactly how much they
He,
were.
he's already warned her, and she's like, "Yeah, so you're selling your motorcycle and all your guns?"
No, because my motorcycle is a daily driver.
Oh, so she's
I
saying you're
just
gonna sell
ordered. Go ahead, Ben.
No, you're good.
I just ordered some Total Chaos lower control arms, standard length, expedition ones. So I think they're actually approaching Data 60 prices. So, but my wife took it in stride. So,
How much?
under $2,000 by $10.
Well, that's nowhere
But-
in the 60s.
It's 1990.
Yeah.
So
Multiply
is
that by 6 at least.
Jesus,
how many control arms do you get for that price? Like 8?
just two.
Upper, lower, front, and rear?
No, just two.
Top of the line though.
To
top
be
of the
fair, if you were to go buy Toyota ones, they'd be like $600-700.
Ooh.
And on the 2010 FJ Cruisers, the ball joint is not removable. You got to just replace the whole control arm every time. And these ones are uniball, so you can just replace those fairly cheaply.
I
And-
love what you do for me, Toyota.
And you can actually gain several inches of ground clearance on the A arms with these ones, which is
Nice,
basically the main reason I went with those.
sweet.
But still, I don't think I'll be buying any new parts for a while.
So why not get like extended travel ones or something? I assume there's a different version.
Well, just the price to go to you mean like a long travel setup?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would be, I'd have to buy new shocks. I'd have to get upper control arms. It's like that CV shafts. Like there'd just be, it's better, but there'd just be so much
It
involved
just keeps
price wise. It would
up.
just skyrocket. I've already got, a Radflow 2.5-inch coilovers and adjustable uppers and all the stuff. This is the last piece of my front suspension that needs upgraded. So,
Gotcha.
and as much as I'd like long travel, I mostly snow wheel. So having my front tires sticking out farther than my rear kind of makes it weird in the snow. And it just,
It'll be fine.
what's that?
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Just send it.
Send it. Don't be silly.
You just make the tracks wider for everybody like that.
Yeah.
You end up crab walking all over, and it's kind of, yeah.
There's
Crap,
also no
like
reason
ours.
you need to have the same axle ratio. Just send it.
Yeah.
Send it.
Same with
Yeah, and
in
then you
snow,
can be like
it's fine.
Jeremy with
It's
no
fine in
axles.
snow.
Yeah, because when you break down the snow, it's easy to get towed out and work on stuff.
Can't you just? There's a thought, Jeremy. Can't you just like leave that one axle shaft out and come? I mean, it's not really going to be hard wheeling.
I've heard
Put a
multiple.
couple tampons in there so it doesn't leak the fluid out.
I've heard different people say that you can lose because you don't have the the axle nut pulling in, you can actually lose a wheel hub, like just off on the highway.
Oh,
Here's
that
what-
wouldn't be good.
You've been driving around with this bent axle shaft for how long now?
Well, that's the problem is I have new axle shafts now.
Or sorry, bent axle housings.
Right. But I have, if I drive with the bent axle housing, it's going to eat it's going to eat a shaft.
But your
What if
plan
you
is
had
to 60s?
What's that?
The plan is to upgrade to 60s though.
Yes. And I'm going to try to either return or sell the shafts I bought.
Oh,
So can you just get like cheap shafts, put those in, and do the trip?
Uh, yeah, I'd be spending more money.
what if you got really skinny shafts so that they fit inside of that housing and they could
Pretty
go
well
right
bent.
through the bent areas?
It was pretty well bent.
I watched a guy on YouTube take a torch and heat up like a steel shaft, and then he had like a rag soaked in water, and he'd touch it in certain spots, and he straightened it right out, and didn't even look very hard.
I mean,
Maybe
due
you
to
should just get on YouTube and start watching some stuff like that.
It wouldn't cost
maybe
much.
you should
Just
hit
got
up
to buy
Carl
some
Dance.
rags and a torch.
How long does it take to actually drop the entire axle if you just wanted to rip it out and go?
Right now, probably
And,
about
just put some skids where the axle was.
I mean, just like if you just found another Jeep the same model and you want to take that one out, how long in darkness could you take to pull an axle?
Yes. I could probably do it in an hour and a half on mine currently. Maybe 2 hours on the donor Jeep, but
Even with like a sawzall, if you just cut
Yeah,
the
on the
with a
on the donor, like if you had a cordless angle grinder or something. that
I'm
would
saying if it was
aid
at a
in-
junkyard and you didn't care about any of the other parts, how long would it take you to pull it?
I don't know, not that long, but I'd have to buy another axle.
a junkyard or neighborhood that you didn't care about the people in.
Now we're talking about a felony.
Is it really a felony?
I think it might be.
Yeah, probably.
He could just give that to you if you asked. You just didn't ask first.
It's kind of semantic. Hearsay.
all right. Well, this about wraps up the
Taking
show.
his axle.
It would be a Class C felony because it'd be more than $750, but not more than $5,000.
And there go firearms. Oh, they're already
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, I'm sure it's your first offense. You'll be fine.
Don't forget to visit Patriot Patch and join the Patch of the Month Club. Check out our Gaia affiliate link for up to 40% off. Also, don't forget to head over to Warren and Power Tank to see all of their great gear. We are a proud part of the Firearms Radio Network. Got a question or comment? Send it to us through our webpage at firearmsradio.tv or through our social media channels by searching for Off-Road Podcast. Also, you can listen to us live at overlandradio.com, Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific. When off-road, please remember to have fun, tread lightly, be safe and courteous, and thanks for listening.
And thanks for watching.
Yeah.
There we go.